But it's also cool to hear the different stories, the different ways that we've all been inspired by, initially the Hoyts, and then inspired by Ron and all the other originators of myTEAM Triumph. So it's someday we got to get like everyone who's ever done anything with myTEAM Triumph together, and that's going to be just an incredible picture to be able to share. So today, guys, I wanted to share with you a little bit of what we've found to be, I guess best practices, I guess you could say, of what I call cause technology. And we're talking about social media today, but I want to expand that a little bit, because I think that social media is just a tool to help us, just as all of our other tools are, or pieces of technology are, to help spread our mission, to help engage our followers and our team members, and to help also provide some good awareness for our sponsors and partners. And so as I'm going through this, there's a number of things I want to share. Like I said, some of our best practices, some of the things that work for us in Wisconsin, and then also, and so I'll share a lot of different types of things, and it'll be a lot of information, but I'll also try to give you near the end, if you're someone that's maybe just starting off with social media or technology, what might be some first steps for you, if you have a limited amount of time and resources and those types of things. And then along the way, this is a discussion, so if you have questions and those types of things, just jump in and ask them. So when we look over this presentation, we want to ask the questions and hopefully come up with some answers of how does technology and social media affect the mission and vision of myTEAM Triumph. What concepts of social media and this technology are important to you in the work that you're doing with your chapter and your region. I think that depending on the number of events or the types of events that we do, things may be different. So we want to chat about those. And then, just have a little discussion about what concerns you have about technology. There's some, concerns about how to use it best, or, does it become overwhelming for people, and those types of things. And then, I'd like to, I'm not an expert in this, I'm not a professional in this, I've just kind of learned how to use it as I go, and so I'd like to maybe ask you guys, what works for you. So, again, all that will be stuff that I invite you to just jump in and, as I'm going through this, to just share and ask those questions. So, let's start with this. Why is technology, important? And if you're a big fan of Apple, one of the big things that they say is, technology connects us. It's not, technology is not there for technology's sake. It's there to, connect us to what's really important. And with myTEAM Triumph, storytelling is very important. And when we think about social media, it's really just a way for us to tell stories. And, stories about our captains and who they are as individuals and their families, and what makes them just incredible people, and why we want them to be part of the community through these events that we do. And so that's the goal, and if we were to take all the details out, if we were to say how can we connect people to that storytelling, that should be, whenever we think of, what should I post, and what should I get, when it comes to a picture, when it comes to some sort of testimonial, the most valuable things we can do is share those stories and connect people to those stories through our social media. So next, discussing a little bit about concepts versus tools. So the tools that we have, really, they're just obviously tools, but instead of thinking about them as being tools, think about what we can do with them. So that the different concepts or objectives. Now, there's 4 things that I try to focus on whenever I'm using our social media or our technology. Is 1, how can we use this technology to be productive? If your chapters are like mine, everyone's got another job, everyone's got kids, they have family, they sometimes have a second job, maybe they're involved in other charities. Wes talks about the work that he's doing with Team Hoyt, and there's other things that we're passionate about. And so, how can we leverage technology to kind of work in a virtual space with our board members, our staff, our advisors, our the people that help to accomplish our mission? And there's a number of tools that we can utilize to help do that. The second thing is most of the time we don't have a marketing budget in the traditional sense. So we're not out buying ads, on TV or radio or even sometimes social media or billboards. But one of the most powerful ways in our age is social media for marketing. So that's why we want to leverage that. It helps us get our message across. And thirdly, it helps us engage with people. It helps us engage with followers, helps them feel part of the team, helps captains feel part of the team, angels and volunteers, as well as our sponsors. And then our sponsors want to see, as followers do, that we're really achieving our mission, and that's where social proof comes in. And that's where those stories come in as well. So these are the 4 concepts that when we're doing our work with our social media or any of our technology, we try to filter it through, how will it help us be more productive? How can it help market our organization? How can it help engage us with our followers? And how can it provide proof of what we're doing? So some examples of ways that we can engage our team members. First of all, let me just pull this up here. I have to hide this little thingy's in my way. There we go. All right, so first of all, just some very simple best practice types of things that we like to do is, whenever we're sharing a photo, this photo, for instance, is, believe it or not, we run in the snow in Wisconsin. So this is what it looks like right now up here in Green Bay, and that's, believe it or not, Captain Mary. That's behind that blanket there, and this is from a couple years ago, and then just going for a run with some angels. And whenever we're putting up these photos, we want them to be, very simple, very engaging. We want to tag people in the photos and videos. We want to make mentions. And you see in this photo there's a blanket that was donated by Runaway Shoes, which is a partner of ours. And so we're going to mention them. We're going to thank them in this photo of this. I'm going to tag all these people in this photo. We're going to use hashtags that are relevant and that are engaging for people. And one of the ones that we've tried to really make regular is this one called Run Like Angels. And it's something that is very engaging, and it's something that really is intriguing to people and draws them into some of our content. Different ways to also engage are Foursquare. So Foursquare is a check-in application, local places, and we have an account. And at our partners, what we do is Runaway Shoes, for instance, is we'll go on and we'll put a tip on that location saying, hey, as angels of myTEAM Triumph, you get a discount of 10% at Runaway Shoes. And so when average Joes are just checking in on their mobile device and Foursquare, that will actually pop up on their screen. And so they're going to learn about myTEAM Triumph. They're going to go, what's that? And it's just different ways that they can learn about it. You can do things like Google Hangouts, which is a new way of doing video streaming. And then also it's a way of thanking our participants for participating. And it helps them feel like the rock stars that they are, and you know, helps them be recognized for the service that they give as angels, and the captains as well who are on social media. The different tools that we use, of course, the most common one is Facebook. For us, we go down Twitter. Google Plus we haven't used quite as much. I'd say that this is the one. This is one that has become, you know, it's kind of not mainstreamed as much as Facebook and Twitter. YouTube, of course, we're doing a lot of videos. Pinterest is another one that we're on. We're not totally active on. Postagram is one that I love because one of the things that we do is when we take photos, we can use this application, which is on a mobile device, to send postcards to our participants. And so a lot of times after we do a race, or if I'm with a sponsor and I take a photo and I post it, I can actually go on the application, put in their address on this application, and wherever they make these postograms up, they actually will send it to them right there. So I don't have to, you know, lick any envelopes. I don't have to put any stamps or anything like that, and it actually will show up to them within, you know, 4 or 5 days of that. All I need is their address and enter it in on the app. And so it's really, really, again, going to efficiency's sake, you know, I can do it right there after a meeting or some sort of event, and within a few days it's in their mailbox, and it's a great memory for them. One thing that is becoming actually less relevant is QR codes. A lot of people want to throw QR codes, and if anyone knows, does everyone know what a QR code is, by the way? Does anyone not know what a QR code is? I actually don't. So okay. So a QR code is kind of a barcode that you're going to see. It's usually like a square barcode that usually you'll find on some advertising. And yeah, and there's applications that you can, on your mobile device, that you can kind of go over a QR code and take a picture of it, and then it'll pull up a website that links from that QR code. You know, these are, people use these very popular. I recommend you don't use QR codes, just because, you know, a lot of people have found that it's actually going to take less time for someone to enter in a URL on their mobile device than it would be to pull up their application and scan the QR code, and then also it just looks like junk. You know, if you've got a nice poster and you've got this you know, weird kind of you know, square thing on it, it just doesn't look great. Ustream is another way to do some live streaming. So, you know, when it comes to live streaming, a number of things that we've done is, if you're going to have like pre-race camps, if you're going to have some pre-race camps and people can't come, you can stream these, and so some of your participants who, you know, want to learn about the race or those types of things can tune in and, you know, hear the story, hear how myTEAM Triumph works. And it's you know, a lot of the great things about this is they're all free, with the exception of, you know, a postogram when you're sending a postcard, which is about 99 cents per postcard, by the way, so it's very economical. These are all free, and these are all different tools that we can use to, you know, kind of engage people in the different ways that that we're involved in. When going back to Facebook, I think probably the most important thing is tagging. Knowing, you know, having someone on your crew that really is involved in social media, and can, you know, really, you know, you look at your roster for an event, can really link up and become friends with all those people. And then once you post your photos from a race or a training run or those types of things, if you tag that individual in that photo, then you're going to get a whole ton of people that will be engaged with that photo, because it'll show up on their friends feed as well. And that's kind of how Facebook works, is if you tag that person, then all their friends are going to see that, and they're going to go, hey, what was that you just did? So it's a way to extend the reach to not just the person that you're tagging, but also their followers and their friends on Facebook. So that's, and what I'll sometimes do is just go back and I'll go through some old photos and oh, I forgot to tag that person in there, and all of a sudden that just generates a whole another level of kind of past engagement. Oh, that was a great memory when we had it from that race, and just generate some good social media traffic. So it's just another way of continuing that team engagement. The next one is social proof. So, thank you. So social proof, what I mean by this is doing things, obviously, like photos. We want to share photos of what we're doing, videos, check-ins at some of our partners and sponsors, sharing testimonials of the different experiences that people have. News, so if you're working with a partner and you guys have some great thing to announce, social media is a great way to do it. Reach reports. So there's a lot of great, if you really want to dig in into some of the metrics that can be out there, there's, Facebook does that. They provide a lot of great metrics to, what your reach is like for certain posts, and that's really great to show for sponsors and in your partners. Different way of putting some presentations and live streaming, tracking of your participants and recording. And so when we think about these things, the first thing, and this really is, the main point of this entire presentation, is really the best tools. You got to have some sort of, mobile device, and it's just out there. It's an essential piece to really make this happen, right? I mean, how many people we know just don't have some sort of smartphone? I mean, almost everyone does nowadays, and it's really one of the most essential tools to just making this whole concept of social media and cause technology work. So some of the different applications that you could check out, obviously we talked about the main ones there. Instagram is probably my favorite, and because Instagram is pretty much just photos. There's very little text. There's no links. It's just sharing photos, and now they have videos. And one of the great things about Instagram is you can link it to your Facebook and your Twitter, and then if you have a blog, you can link it to that as well. So with just one post, you can take care of multiple different social media channels, and it really makes it more efficient for you. And again, sharing the stories and engaging people is the most important thing, and the pictures and the videos really do that very well. So if you have to choose one that you're going to engage with the most, I would definitely recommend Instagram. That would be it, because you can reach a lot of different people through multiple different channels. On the video side, you have short videos, like along with YouTube and Vimeo, you have Tout. You can plug that back in there. And then there's another one called Ustream, which I chatted about before. Prezi is a really interesting way to make presentations. So if you're doing some annual reports, which I recommend that you guys get into doing every year, Prezi is a really neat way of doing some movement style presentations. If you're looking for any of those, there's one on our website as well in the Prezi format. Motion X GPS is another one. I think one of the things when we talk about this concept of technology that I think we it's kind of one of those things that we'd love to develop. I know that Ron, we've talked about this, is have some sort of GPS tracking of our captains, and maybe including that with some sort of live stream. And so if we can kind of combine someday, this, maybe a GoPro camera with Ustream and the GPS, and what that might be nice is that families can go on the website and they can see, oh, there's my son or daughter in a race, and they can watch them live and see them on on the course where they are. And that's something that it would be great if someday we have that. I think that would really be very engaging for people that can't make it to the races but still want to be involved. I think we'll get there someday. We're starting to see some unique applications come out, neat ways of people of using those, and I think that'll really enhance the work that we do once we see that. A GoPro camera is another great tool. We picked one up this year. It's a very small, high-definition camera that does photos, videos, very versatile. You can mount it just about anywhere. You can mount it on your strollers. You can put it on your head, on your chest. I've seen them in very weird places, but it's just a really cool way to get a wide-angle view of action, and it's great for your storytelling too. So you're going to see these all over the place, and they have great mounts, like I said. So we'll attach them to almost anywhere in our strollers and get, from a captain perspective, looking up at them to looking out. So there's a lot of different ways that we can really see what's going on with a captain. Going next to social proof is because we're not able to connect to the audio. One of the things that I'll just do a screenshot of here is every year we have a celebration of some sort, and we create a video of either the season or 2010 we did some videos of our captains and highlight reels. And so I definitely recommend that you check this out, create some different videos about it. And there's some really neat ways of doing it. There's some great applications of doing it almost automatically, and making it very easy. And one application that's not on this presentation is one called Flipgram. So Flipgram basically accesses your Instagram photos, which you can put into a slideshow, and then you can add music to it, and you can create a very simple slideshow. And so when you're looking at all of your different Instagram photos, just pull those in, quick little slideshow, and for an event, for a captain, whatever different means that you want to do. Another great way of utilizing such slideshows is to do them around sponsorships. So if there's a sponsor of a race, you can do the same thing and create great sponsor video for them, and that's really something that they like to share. Is they can share that with on their website and their social media. If you have a sponsor of a stroller, one of the things that we've done is taken photos of wherever that stroller's been in all the races, and at the end of the year, we'll put together a nice little slideshow video of check out this stroller in action, and did these 12 races, and traveled this many miles, and that's another great thing to engage. So another way of just doing social proof, and that's important for sponsors because, one, they want to know that their dollars are going to the mission in action, and it just keeps them engaged and keeps them interested in continuing to support our mission. Next, productivity. So there's a lot of different things that we can do with productivity. Again, the mobile device is great. Just going through some of the different means that we utilize some of these tools. A lot of us are using, say, our cell phones for, both personal and work. And Google has this thing called Google Voice, where it's actually a free phone number that you can basically just use off of kind of your Google account. And the nice thing is you can kind of choose a number you want, And then you can basically have this number ring wherever you want. So it can ring on a mobile device. It can ring on a landline. It can ring on a number of lines. So what's cool about this is if you want to have one phone number that is for your organization, you can set this up, and then depending on what is where the organization progresses, you can just basically point that phone number to whatever phone, landline, or mobile device you want in the future. So you don't have to change out the phone number, during an event or during the course of the organization. We also use this Google Voice number from the standpoint of race support. So if let's say we have a big race that we're doing, it's a marathon, and when we think about our volunteers and our staff that are out supporting, maybe we have 2 people at the team tent that are just supporting the families. We have some guy in a moped. We have some guy in another truck, with wheels, extra wheels. And then we got, a guy on the street, with water bottles. What we could do is, instead of providing a whole list of, if you want to call the water bottle guy, here's his number. If you want to call the tent guy, here's his number. We provide one number, and we put this number in the stroller of all of our teams, and it's a support number. And what we do is, before the race, we'll set this Google Voice account to ring to all those different phones. So when someone calls, they're going to go, it's going to ring simultaneously on all those different phones. And that way, if one person's busy, at least someone can pick up. And then someone can be supportive of that individual and get them what they need. And so the Google Voice is great. It also transcribes voicemail. So if you get a voicemail, it'll turn it into text. And then you can read that. You can even send that in an email to someone. So if like, hey, this captain called, can you follow up with them? You can help to, as a manager of a race or that type of thing, you can share that. Google Docs is similar to Dropbox. It's just another online collaboration tool. You want to have a means to collaborate on your documents, and I think we're pretty much, it's now a standard in myTEAM Triumph that we have Dropbox as a way to start up. I think it's great. It's a free thing unless you are getting one of the paid accounts, which most of the time we don't need unless you have a lot of files that you're kind of taking up your space in your Dropbox. But that's just one of those just absolutely essential tools for collaborating on documents with your staff and your board. MailChimp is an email newsletter platform, and this is another thing that when you get into year, especially like this second year, you want a way to communicate to all of your people, all of your captains, your angels, your volunteers over the course of time, and you want to have a really professional way of doing this. And MailChimp is like Constant Contact, it's the same type of thing. And they have very good account that you can set up, which is free for nonprofits up to a certain kind of subscriber list. So if you're just starting off, for the first couple of years when we had MailChimp, we didn't pay a cent, and now our list has grown to the point that we have a very small payment that we make, but it's very worth it. And so when you're sending out your emails, they're great looking emails. They're not just everyone's BCC'd and the plain text email that someone just copy and paste email messages into. But it communicates that really professional look to the organization. It's very, very easy to use. Docs2Go is a means to view and edit the documents in your Dropbox and your mobile device. So if you have a roster that you're working on and I just want to edit it really quickly, or I want to be able to send someone, this document from my phone. So it's a paid application. I think it's like, maybe $10 at most, but it's very worth it. It's very handy on the go. Genius Scan is an application where you can take a photo of basically anything and turn it into a PDF. So if you have someone's registration form that they filled out, and you want to send that, you want to turn that into a PDF, you can do that, and then you can either email it to someone, you can upload it to your Dropbox account right from your phone. So that's a really, really handy app that I use quite a bit. And probably one of the most effective ones besides Dropbox is HootSuite. HootSuite is a social media suite that pulls in all your different social media channels, and is probably the most effective aspect of HootSuite is a feature that allows you to basically schedule your posts. So I'm going to just pull away from my presentation here real quick, and I'm going to go to HootSuite. Can you guys see this? Are you still looking at my presentation right now? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Still here.
Okay, good. Are you guys seeing these different feeds, home feed, mentions, direct messages?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what HootSuite looks like. Have any of you used HootSuite?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So this is just, if you look up here, you're going to see the different accounts. You're going to see Twitter, myTEAM Triumph, our Facebook, our Twitter page, all this good stuff. So you can very easily, kind of view what's going on all of your different accounts without having to have multiple different pages. You can just go right back and forth between your different accounts. And then Publisher is the place where you can, if it opens up here, you can schedule your posts. So one of the nice things is you can come up on here, and this shows you all the posts that are scheduled. And so we have a fundraiser coming up this weekend on Saturday. And what I did is usually maybe every week I'll go, okay, what do I want to post this week? And I'll sit down on a Monday morning, I'll spend 20 minutes, and I'll schedule my posts. And I'll basically go on here, and I create this post that has some text, has a link, and then this is the preview that one would see on Facebook. I choose my social media channels I want it to go to, and I can schedule it for a certain time to automatically go out. And so I want to do something every day with this, and in fact, I want to do it on Friday. I want to do a last final call for people to come to this fundraiser. And so instead of me, trying to go on Facebook every single day, I can just sit down on a Monday morning and spend 20 minutes to schedule all of my marketing over social media, and to really visualize when it's going out. So it's a great tool. It's a free tool. You can pull in all of your social media, and it just gives you a really clean way to send out your posts. So HootSuite, definitely recommend you guys check that out. Now, when it comes to cost technology for marketing, sponsorship, fundraising, it's very, very important because we want people to go to a dynamic web and social presence. A lot of our young people that we're targeting to be part of our teams, that's really important to them. Is when you look at the best, the most engaged nonprofits, so the people that really draw people. You look at their web presence. coming to mind are organizations like Invisible Children, Charity Water. These are all ones that, I look at a lot, and I try to steal some ideas from them. They have really incredible web presence. And just by going on their website, you want to get involved. You want to donate. You really feel part of their mission, and you really feel part of, you understand the importance of it. And so having a dynamic and social presence really is not just about creating a good look. It's about getting people involved, getting them excited about your organization from a sponsorship and a fundraising standpoint. And it really helps to recruit people to get involved on a deeper level too. So if you're looking for more board and staff, people are going to go to your website and go, no, these people really have it together. And wow, and that leaves a great impression for people. And so definitely, spend some time to develop that web presence, develop your social media, how it looks, how it feels. Really, really important. And this goes to, everything we talked about before, and a lot of the stuff we already went over. And so I won't continue to go over those things. So first steps, like I said, I try to get it to a very, kind of simple for those of us that are maybe just starting to get into social media and how we can get involved. Is the first thing you want to do is you want to set up these pages or these accounts. You want to set up a Facebook page for your chapter. You want to have a Twitter account. Get yourself a Foursquare account, a page account, not a personal one. I mean, you're going to need a personal one, but you want a page one. Flickr is another way to share photos. Tumblr is a blog. And while you're doing all these, you may find, again, that you're never going to log into Flickr after you set up an account. Or you're never going to log into Tumblr or Foursquare or maybe even Twitter or Facebook. But the point is that once you set up your Instagram account, you can automatically automatically connect it to these other ones. And so anytime you post a photo or a video on Instagram, it's going to go to these 5 different channels automatically. And so you think about the reach of people that you're going to have with that one picture, it's going to really, really be huge. So that would be the first thing I would say is have someone set those things up. And if you're going to post one thing, post photos from Instagram and have them go out to these different channels automatically. Just makes your job a whole lot easier. Second, HootSuite. Checking out HootSuite, using the scheduling feature for it. And they now have this new thing called auto-scheduling. So basically HootSuite, when you choose the auto-scheduling feature, it knows when's the optimal time that people are engaging on social media. And typically what they found that between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. is a time when most people are on their social media. So maybe they're out for lunch, or they're getting an afternoon cup of coffee, or maybe they're just screwing around at work and, on social media. But that's what they found to be the most of the time where people find the most. And so what HootSuite will do is if you schedule a post, it'll automatically put it in those time frames where it's going to get the greatest reach. And so that's another way to make it really, really easy for you. So how many of you, just a poll here, informal poll, how many of you are using, we look at these ones here, Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, Flickr, Tumblr, Instagram, how many of you say that you are using or have used a number of these?
I have.
And who's that?
Katie.
Katie. Yeah, so you have a good experience on a number of these then?
Well, I'm not with an organization necessarily, but I used a lot of these to research for my grant too, and what people would see when they did due diligence.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. So you used some social media data to apply for a grant.
Yes, as part of it, because with the granting process, once they have it, I mean, they want to know if you have a website, and they're going to Google you, and just to see what they would see, and they do it to, you know, like you said, legitimize it and see the social proof. And then a lot of times the grant writing can be very, like, you tell the story as best you can, but it can be a little dry, and so a lot of grantors will look for the visuals that you talked about. So they can be a really useful tool for that also.
Great. Great. And so this is, you know, just another example of why social media is just so important, because, you know, it can help us with our funding needs as well, as if we're telling our story and we're sharing, you know, the stories that are especially relevant to our sponsors or our grantors, and you know, they're going to see that, and it's going to keep them engaged in the work that we're doing. And so, have you used HootSuite at all?
No, this is the first time I've ever heard of that, but it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I found it to be really, really, really good. You know, and one thing I'll say too with any of these tools, guys, is I threw about a bazillion up there. They're all going to see, it's just like any tool. Anytime you pick it up, you're going to go, what the heck is this? But, you know, just spending a little bit of time, or if you don't know how to do it, you know, find someone that really is passionate about it. And so, you know, when you're thinking about the structure of your organization, your chapter, you want to have someone that is an expert in this. And that is a definite. You know, that's a huge need. So someone that is really good with social media, someone that's really good with technology, for all the reasons that we talked about. You know, engagement, social proof, sharing stories, all that good stuff. And so if you don't feel comfortable with this, that's okay. You know, not everyone needs to be. But I definitely recommend that you find someone, or even a number of people, that have this skill set and this interest. It's what keeps myTEAM Triumph at the forefront. It's what keeps our word getting out there and spreading it, and just really makes it top of mind for people. And that kind of gets to this next point. You know, and I'll just put a little plug out there. One of our people that is very involved with us started up his own business called Tweetsicles, and kind of an interesting name. But they are social media specialists, and they have offered to kind of help out. And they're really engaged. They've sponsored us, and so if you ever have questions and you want to get some good resources, and you can definitely check them out on the web or on Twitter. They're really, really good, and a lot of what I've learned has been from them. So check out Tweetsicles. So with that said, you know, we've gone through here. I just wanted to kind of open it up. Threw a lot of information out there. Just get any thoughts, questions, get in the discussion portion of it. So we're going to open up the floor. Any thoughts, questions?